So we're going to get going. This is recorded, so it will be available for you all to review later, and even those coming late, I'm sure they'll be able to access if they missed anything. But first, a big welcome. My name is Jason Van Staden, and I'm part of the Innovative Finance team at the Bertha Centre. And I'm joined today by my co-convener, Shaluba Mawela, who's from Shiamo Impact, and then also I'm joined by Taryn, who's part of the executive team. And then we've also got some great alumni who we're going to introduce a bit later from the course last year. And then also supported by Kirsten from the Bertha Centre and a viewer as well. So we all welcome you. We're so glad that you can join us for this information session on the Impact Investing in Africa course, particularly for the Kenya iteration, which is going to be taking place in the next month or so. But we're going to share details on that. So I'm going to share a slide deck, and then we'll get into some of the key things to look out for the course, and we'll share about that. Okay, so what we're going to cover today in the information session is we're primarily going to look at some of the course information, and I've got a few slides just to share what the course is about, where it's taking place, why you should join the course, and what are some of the key, almost like attractive factors for the course and how it's really going to take your career to the next level. Then I'll share around the timetable, so what to expect when you go on the course, some of the content and some of the activities that will be a part of the course. And then I'll hand over to Taryn, who's going to walk you through how you can actually apply for the course, what is the process, and then what to expect when you are doing that. And then we'll have the great privilege of inviting some of our alumni from last year's course to just share on the experience and how it's actually changed and shifted their careers. And lastly, we'll open up to you as the attendees to ask any questions, and we will try our best to answer as best as possible. So what is the Impact Investing in Africa course? So it's an in-person specialized executive education course that really aims to equip you as the attendees with knowledge and skills to invest the resources that you have to generate both positive social and environmental impact and a financial return. And so this course is the only impact investing course with the Africa focus on the continent. So it's a really special course, and especially when you think about the importance of impact investing and the developmental challenges that we have on the African continent. This is really a course that is going to dig deep into what those challenges are and how do we make impact investing relevant to Africa and make sure that we are allocating resources in a way that is going to make sure that we are solving for some of our developmental challenges on the continent. But at the same time, knowing the opportunities that exist to get a healthy financial return as well. And so this course is also accredited by the University of Cape Town. So it's done through the Executive Education Program at the Graduate School of Business, which is one of the top universities in Africa and in the world as well. So we have been running the course for over 8 years. We had been running in Cape Town for the preceding 7 years. And then we launched it in Kenya for the first time. We expanded and we actually hosted the course in Kenya last year as well as in Cape Town. So we're really proud of that. It's really incredible for us to actually take the course outside of South Africa and just make it more accessible to more of the African population. And our hope is to expand it across the continent further going in the next few years. And so we have over 400 alumni. What's really incredible about the alumni, they are very engaged. We have WhatsApp groups where they're sharing of opportunities, collaboration that constantly happens, and projects that get launched together with alumni. So it's really a strength of this course in the people that you meet and the network that you get to be a part of post the course. So what are the details around the course? So this year we are hosting it at 4 Points by Sherrington in Hullingham, in Kenya, Nairobi. And it will take place between the 28th of July, 2025 to the 1st of August, 2025. And the time is from 9 to 5 o'clock East African time, obviously being in Nairobi. And the price is $995 US. And the application deadline is the 8th of July. So it's in about 2 weeks' time, but we really do encourage you to apply as soon as possible. I think it's really important just so we can get through the logistics and to ensure that we are able to get through all the process to make sure that your seat is secured on the course. What else can you expect from the course? As I mentioned, we're really going to help you to gain a lot of knowledge and skills around impact investing and how to do impact investments in a more intentional manner and in a way that's quite effective, particularly for the African context. So it's a comprehensive knowledge boarding program, and you engage with a lot of industry leaders. We bring a lot of industry leaders from the impact investment ecosystem to come and speak on the course. We also have incredible diversity of attendees for the course and delegates that come through as well that you get to network with. And all come together as in a like-minded manner, really trying to shift where Africa is and provide social positive change across the continent. And through the whole week, we also give a lot of insight into regional best practice. And what we also pride ourselves with the course is that Bertha Centre are at the forefront of developing new tools and knowledge around impact investing. So as we are developing those, as we are building out the knowledge, we bring that into the course. So every year there's fresh elements to the course. So for instance, we have launched a systemic impact investing standard, which we have developed in collaboration with FCDO and Agora Global. And we've launched a course that is linked to how you can do impact investing in a systemic manner as well. And during the course for the impact investing in Africa, there's actually going to be a session on how you can do impact investing with the systems lens. And so that's just showing how we bring in this new knowledge, development and toolkits that we develop at the center and bring it into the course to make sure that you're at the forefront of best practice. Practical tools as well, we really do make that as a priority for the course to make sure that what you learn, you can actually take back and apply it in your workplaces and organizations. And then you also gain valuable insights and learnings from other people in industry who are busy with incredible projects and are able to share some of the learnings from those as well. As I've mentioned previously, you get access and you'll get to hear from a great diversity of speakers, really knowledgeable and experts in the industry. And it's such a privilege that for the course I get to co-convene it with Shaluba as well, which you'll hear from her a bit later. So what is included? So each day you get 2 teas. You also get lunch that is covered as part of your course fees. And then we have 2 events. We have one event on the Monday, which is a cocktail evening, where you'll get light snacks and drinks. And then on the last day, we have a prize giving ceremony where you are awarded your certificates with some light snacks, some wine and cheese, and just another opportunity to network with your fellow delegates. You get access to all the course content. We have a learning management system, which you'll be enrolled into, and you'll access all the slides and all additional material through that system as well. You get a UCT accredited course certificate upon completion of the course. So you get a Graduate School of Business Executive Education certificate showing that you have completed this course. And it's really good to have that, just to show that you have gained some of that knowledge and skills on the course. And one of the biggest things is that you're going to get lots of endless memories and connections and opportunities. I think there's a really amazing atmosphere and connections that happen that even after the course, you build friendships and even long-standing friendships with the people that come onto the course. What is not included, so we do not cover the flights to the course, so you need to make sure that you're able to afford the flights, and then if you're in Kenya, fantastic, just make sure you're able to afford the petrol to get there. Accommodation wise, also as well, we do not cover that, but there are discounts available at the hotel, so do please reach out to us and then we can advise you what those discounts are. Again, transport to and from the venue, we are unable to assist you with that as well. And are there any other activities that you would like to do, for instance, free safaris and that is not included in the course? Yeah, so that's just a breakdown of what is not included and what is included. So I'm going to stop here sharing, and I'm going to go through the bit of the timetable to give you an idea of what the week looks like. Okay. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, how does this look? Maybe should be
That looks perfect. Thanks, Jason.
great. Thank you. So, as I said, a 5-day course. It's really jam-packed, lots of content, but also we try to provide a lot of opportunity for you to connect with your fellow delegates and even the guest speakers who join us. But we're looking at on the first day, we start the course by doing some course overview and class introduction, so you can know who's in the room with you and really start to break some of the ice that is there. So you can get to know who you can, find mutual opportunities and collaborations with even from day one. Then we go into setting kind of the scene for the rest of the week and giving you an introduction to some of the key impact definitions, and we discuss some of those in the class. And then we give you an overview of what impact investing looks like globally, but then we come and we hone in on Africa more specifically, and then also looking at some of the trends and opportunities that are emerging in the African context. After lunch, we then look at what is the impact ecosystems and what are some of the opportunities that lie within those ecosystems for us to explore. And then we start introducing to some themes of impact, which cover this broad range of themes for investment that can deliver impact. And this covers areas of both financial inclusion, renewable energy, affordable housing, health, education. There are quite a lot of themes to cover. So we give you a broad brushstroke of all of them. And then as you'll see on Thursday, we do a deep dive into some selected themes where we've got child lens investing and climate finance will be the deep dive themes for this course. On the second day, we then go into actually looking to build out an impact investing strategy, what that looks like, looking at some of the best practices for impact investing, and what are some of the innovative finance tools and instruments that you can actually use to unlock and mobilize more capital towards impact. And then lastly, on Tuesday, we will go through Catalytic Capital, which again is a course that's developed by the Bertha Centre in collaboration with the Catalytic Capital Consortium and Roots of Impact. So very much getting content which has been driven by the centre itself. And then we have on Wednesday where we look at actually building out impact investing portfolios, what that looks like, and then how you actually go about creating an impact fund. And lastly, then we bring in some of that content about systemic impacts investing, which I mentioned earlier, but also looking at how that is related to gender lens investing, which is really important theme as well within impact investments. And then on Thursday, we do Impact Measurement and Management Day, which is always an exciting day for the delegates. There's a lot of anticipation for that day because we talk about impact a lot, but we need to measure impact. We need to make sure that we're intentionally getting some of those outcomes and seeing what is actually being achieved by the financial contributions and allocations. And so we'll go through what are the fundamentals for it. We'll also look at some tools, and then we'll also provide a case study, which will give you kind of good grounding in some of the emerging tools and themes for impact measurements and management. Then lastly, it's about future impacts. So we look at what are some of the emerging technologies, particularly looking at blockchain and how this impacts investment and particularly innovative financing. And then what you'll see is throughout the week, we have breakout learning groups that happen after the tea break and then also on Friday morning. So during the week, you are given an opportunity in groups to actually apply what you are learning and build out an impact fund. which I think is an incredible opportunity to apply all the things you're learning. And it's a great way to also engage with your fellow delegates and work together on something. And often we find like a lot of people on the final day, they're actually quite excited and actually want to go and launch some of the solutions that they have created. So, I mean, it's really special that we can do that in those groups. And so that is the timetable, and it's a really exciting timetable. It's always fun to put this together as a team, especially trying to see how every year we can add something new and fresh to it to make sure that we are very like on the forefront of what is happening within impact investing. And so with that, I am going to stop there and hand over to Taryn. I hope at this stage everyone's really excited and is wanting to jump onto the application forms and sign up for the course.
Thank you so much, Jason. Again, a warm welcome to everyone. My name is Taryn, and I work closely with the Bertha Centre here at the Executive Education team. And I support and lead the admissions and recruitment process for this course. And so it's important to note that you are actually applying to an institution. So there are some administrative steps that have to happen to get you registered. So I'm going to take you through what that application form looks like. And then, of course, any questions I'll answer after. Share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Jason, Shaluba.
We're able to see it.
Thanks, we are able to, Taryn.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so in terms of where, so once you've decided you're ready, you're excited, you're on board, you want to submit your application, you'll navigate to the actual course webpage, or pretty much you'll get that information afterwards, after this information session through our mailers, and you would click on the application button on the right-hand side, and you would fill out this initial pop-up form. It's pretty much just basic information on your name, surname, your contact details, and particularly your email is really important. That email address is going to be used for the program. So do take cognizance of when you are filling this pop-up form, what email address do you want to use? In our world, you have your work email, your personal email, maybe a side hustle email, a second job email. So be sure that you are using the email address that you want to use for this course. So once you've submitted this pop-up form, the next page that you will see is choosing your intake. So at the bottom over there, we have two intakes of the program. So our flagship Cape Town course is still also being delivered this year. And then, of course, our second intake of the Kenya location. So you would choose the Kenya intake, and from there, it will take you to your actual admissions page, if you will. So you would scroll all the way to the bottom, and it says there, start your journey here. And that is where you will then have the first section of your application form. So the online application form consists of 6 sections. The first one is your personal data. In this section, it is very important that you have the correct name. So I know many of us have nicknames, I go by the name of T by my friends and so on, but T is not what I can write here because that's going to reflect on your actual certificate. So please, whatever your name is on your official ID, your identification document, that is what you need to input in this section. So that is used for certificate purposes. And it's really important to note that because it's a record, it's an academic record at a higher education institute. So maybe 1 year later, 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, you need to verify that you actually did this program. And that is where your record will sit at our records office with your name. So very important that accurate details according to your ID is submitted here. From there, you'll have questions around your disability, dietary requirements that you would answer, contact information, please, your cell phone, very important. I know there are some sensitivity around sharing that kind of information, but we need to reach you once you have registered, and so we would need valid contact details to do so. Your delivery address is also important. So for whatever reason, if you are unable to attend the last day, for example, or you miss an hour of the last day, you will need to deliver that certificate to you. So that delivery address needs to be valid as well, to put in there, as well as just any information that we may need to reach you via the post or courier. We need that delivery address, a physical delivery address. And from there, we just need some information around your citizenship status. In this case, it's more for data processing purposes. But overall, the important section here in personal data is your name according to your ID and your contact information, your delivery address, physical address, and then for your experience on the course, this disability and dietary requirements is very important. So we'll get to the first day of a program, and as Jason mentioned, you have lunch is included in the program. And if you don't type that you are vegan, then there is no vegan option for you. Of course, we're going to do our very best to make sure that we support you and you have a wonderful experience by making a plan on that day. But ideally for planning, please make sure that you click the correct button. All right. Then on to the second part of the form. So this is employment information. So for the purposes of the university, as well as for admissions process on review of your CV. So we'll get to that later. That's a document that's needed. We need to know your employment information as we review your application. From there, the third part of this form is your billing information. So this is really important that you have accurate details here. We get some interesting inquiries. We'll just get a random email that says, send me an invoice, and kind of go to where and to who. And so when you're applying, it's important that you put that pen to paper or, type your text to this online form around the billing information, because it's going to reflect on your tax invoice. So if your company is paying, that is the option it's currently reflecting. You have to make sure that you have accurate company details. So that is the company name, the company VAT number. So if your company or organization does not have a VAT number, you can type in not applicable. But if you do, it's really important that that VAT number reflects here. And the account contact information. Many a times in an organization, you as the delegate are not the person that's facilitating that payment. So whoever in your organization is facilitating that payment directly, or they have direct line of sight for approval for that funding to be spent on this course or your development for this program, that is the person that you have to put in here, that person's details. So it's their name, their email, their contact number, and then the company billing address. So again, this is also a physical address that needs to be put in here, as it will reflect on your tax invoice. Very important, please, if it's a company, this account contact information is very important. Your name as the delegate on the course will be on that invoice as well. That's a given, but we need the account contact information because our finance team needs to work in conjunction with your essential finance person for processing of payment. If that information is incorrect, for example, you haven't inserted the VAT number, for example, or perhaps you haven't inserted the company physical address incorrectly, it will delay moving through the process of being registered for the course. So please take care with this. We've seen some very interesting inputs here when it comes to the company paying. It has to be accurate details for that invoicing. Of course, if you're paying out of pocket, you would click person and you basically insert your details because you are the one that's paying. that normally comes with the company. In most cases, companies are paying for the course, and so this is important to take note of. All right. On the next section, so this is the uploads, the documents I mentioned at the start of this. You will be required to upload your CV, so an up-to-date CV, as well as your ID, which is used for records purposes. The upload of the CV, I say up to date, because often we will get documents that's essentially a resume and not actually a CV. So we want to see detail in the CV because that CV does get reviewed. So really take the time to update your CV and to make sure that your ID is correct. So once you've uploaded that, we move on to the next section. This is the referral information, and it's pretty much for us to get an understanding of where you heard about the course. So we want to know, where you believe you heard about the course. So we have different drop-down options, whether it's directly from your company, from Facebook, a newsletter. You click whichever option is relevant for you. And then you get to the last section of this application form, and it's pretty much just a statement of integrity where you are saying, yes, all my details are correct, they are valid, we are not putting incorrect information here, and you just click tick, and once that's done, you're ready to move forward. My application is complete. And your name and submit. And once you've submitted, you won't be able to go back. It's done. You'll get an email stating application received, and you will then get contacted by one of my team members, Salima or Darlene, those are their names. Perhaps some of you are already in contact with them. And your application then gets reviewed. Once we get the outcome of your application, you then receive that information and we move forward with your tax invoice. All of this is a pretty much back and forth engagement where we double check in, we call in, we email in, is this information correct, and anything else that you may need from us to make sure that you are registered. Once you've received your invoice, you then have to send your proof of payment so that we can then allocate that and make sure that we essentially hand you over to the Bertha Centre delivery team to make sure that everything is in order for your day one and for the rest of the course. All right. I know that was a long one, but that is the form, and accuracy is the name of the game for this. So if you have any questions, any concerns, just reach out to us, and myself, Salima, Darlene, my team, we will be there to assist. Thank you so much. Handing over back to you, Jason.
Thanks so much, Taryn. And I must say, you're really in good hands with Taryn and her team. They will really help you along with the process. Really amazing people, and definitely reach out to any questions. They'll be able to assist you and help you. So thanks a lot, Taryn. And so now I have the privilege of introducing our star alumni first, Shaluba, who's also the co-convener on the course. Really amazing. She was on the course and she's done such incredible work in impact investing, and now she's really part of the team now and also looking to impart some of that knowledge and some of the skills and experience that she's gained post the course to everyone, which is incredible. So I'm going to hand over to Shaluba, who will then introduce two of our delegates from last year's cohort.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Jason. Really appreciate the opportunity. I think a warm welcome to everyone who's joining us today on the info session. We're pleased you were able to join, but also that you are interested in the course. If there is anyone from Kenya specifically, habari, and a very warm welcome. As mentioned, I'm one of the co-conveners on the course, and I'm also an alumni of the course. I actually first did the course, and I just checked now, in 2016, so it's about 9 years ago. And so, there's a lot of institutional memory and history embedded in that. I think what's exciting is how I've been able to use the content from the course 9 years ago into building out Siamo Impact Partners, which is an organization I founded and lead, which is an impact advisory and boutique asset management business. Through the work of the advisory firm, we've been able to unlock, for example, $100 million in impact capital within the market. And we're also in the process now of fundraising for an impact fund with just under $3 million in funds allocated. We should double that by end of the month. So yeah, keep us in your prayers. But yeah, I think, we're excited to share and introduce two alumni who were part of the Kenya iteration of the course. Last year, we obviously ran Kenya for the very first time. They are part of the 400 alumni who have been part of the course over the period that it has been running. And so I'll start off by introducing Christian. Christian, if you can just share with the people on the call around your background, but also the value of having attended the course, and maybe just giving a bit of color around what it's unlocked and enabled for you directly in your career. Thanks, Christian. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ilova. I would like just to share my screen. I just want to make sure that you can see my screen.
Christian, we can see it. It's a bit small. I don't know if you can zoom it in a bit.
Could you see my screen?
We can see it, but it's a bit small. So I don't know if you can make it bigger.
Oh. Okay. Wow. Okay.
No, it's fine. I think you can speak to it, Christian.
Let me just go ahead. Okay, my name is Christian Bimola. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I work for an impact investing company called Mission Invest. It's an impact investing company which funds projects in 12 countries in Africa, and we are more focused on 4 sectors. And we only, for now, fund projects owned by the Catholic Church. So right now, we fund projects on the agriculture sector, we fund projects in the healthcare sector, the financial institution, and also the education. That means that we are very keen in SDG 2, 3, 4, 5, and also indirectly with SDG 1. I can even name it zero anger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality. We usually check what is the ratio between men and women staff, the ratio between girl and boy students in the project that we are funding. For example, it's in the education sector, and also no poverty by the job creation that we are making. Through the project that we are funding, the job creation that we are making, and also we make sure that those job creation, those people who will be employed have a decent salary and work in a good environment, and which means that we also have a very systemic approach, because we are together with our different borrowers over the journey. So from the pre-investment to the post-investment, we just don't care about the profit that we're making, but we are very intentional about the impact. We make sure that there is a sustainability of the business that we are funding, and also we check the scalability of the business that we are also funding. And why this program, this executive education, is really important. I would like to talk first about Kate Woolworth. Maybe some of us can know her. She's an UK economist, and in one of his speech on a healthy economy should be designed to thrive, not to grow, she pointed out 3 important facts that I think it's really important to mention. The first one is that we are financially addicted to growth. Why? Because the financial system is designed to pursue highest rate of return, which puts private sector and public sector in a kind of pressure of following growing sales, market share, and even the profits. And the second fact is that we are also politically addicted to growth because, which is really funny and true, our politicians want to raise tax revenue without just raising tax. And the last one is just we are addicted to growth because we are convinced that the more we buy something, the more we transform ourselves. But now we have to know also that business that we use harder to solve problems, not to create problem for the current and the future generation. And the most important thing is that she concluded by saying that it's time to choose a nice ambition because of the humanity challenge. And that's why we see that we don't just care about profit, but we care about people, and we also have to care about our planet where we live. So we have two challenges. The most important, the human challenges, and as an African, we usually talk about the Ubuntu philosophy. I am because you are, and I have to care about my neighbor. And we have also the climate change challenge, the climate challenge. And right now we are talking about the Paris Agreement, holding the warming of the world below 2 degrees Celsius or even below 1.5 degrees Celsius, if you can. Saying that, we see the importance of impact investing, moving our approach of thinking from the traditional approach, which is just profit and return, to a new approach, an impact investing approach, which come up with an intentional impact. And then we follow also the profits that we would like to make. So saying that, the importance of the course, on my view, is that first of all, the way the course is organized, starting by the structure, which in my own view helped me to understand, to deepen my knowledge in impact investing from both sides, investor and investee, and also how I can personally be a change maker in this journey. And the second is that the quality of the contributor or the guests that you will receive during this executive education. I still remember when we had Dean Hand, the Chief Research Officer of the Global Impact Investing Network, Arif Neki, and also Frank Aswani, C. Roland, and other incredible people. And also the fact that the course explore the challenge faced by the impact investing firms. And one of the important challenge that most of colleagues was pointing out is that most impact investing company fund projects in USD or Euro, and then the borrowers have to invest now in local currency, and then at the end of the day, they have to pay back now in the USD or the Euro currency, which sometimes make the loan more expensive because of the inflation that we have internally. And being in such environment, we think all of us, how can we solve this kind of problem? And also, it will give you an opportunity to brainstorm with very, very bright people, to learn very useful tools. I still use today Iris Splice that I've learned during the program, and also to get an understanding of different concepts like blended finance, how to measure impact, and also designing an impact fund, how to make it. So you get very deep knowledge about that. And the most important thing is the community that we are part of. Once you join this program, you are part of a community of over 300 professionals who are working in the impact investing sector, where we still brainstorm. We have a WhatsApp group where when we chat, you can even ask your question. People will come up with answers. That's the lovely things. And also the fact that we have people from different countries. Personally, I'm from the Jersey. We have my colleague Sarah, who is from Ghana, and we had people from Nigeria. We had people from South Africa. So you are creating a strong networking, and some of us we are still friends. We keep chatting, texting still today. And
Christian, I think you can continue for long and long, but I think maybe let's wrap it up there because we do need to get to Sarah Jane and still have time for questions. I think what's exciting is there's a lot more you're keen to share just around the benefits of the course. We're more than happy to come back to some of your additional points. But I think two of the aspects I took away was one, it's a course that actually creates change makers, but also secondly, the community. And so maybe let me hand over to Sarah Jane, just mindful of time. Christian, I'm so sorry I had to cut you, but I know you can go on and on, just given how much you were impacted by the course. And maybe to hand over to Sarah Jane to please introduce yourself, the work you do, and your experience from having attended the course. Thank you.
Thanks, Shaluba, Jason, and thanks, Christian. I think he's the spokesperson from our cohort. Just to say, I'm Sarah Jane Danchi. I'm Ghanaian based in Ghana, and I joined the course last year. So in terms of my background, so I'm with the Social Investment Consultancy, TSIC, and it's a global strategy management consultancy. So we operate in Africa, Asia, Middle East, North Africa, and Europe. I myself, I'm the director for Africa, working with foundations, development finance institutions, and impact first organizations. I learned that on the course. So for me, the course really helped to kind of organize my profession, really gave me a good understanding of how to really structure things. I think that's, as Christian said, one of the kind of real points that which really attracted me is the way they've structured everything. So literally by the day, we are building on our knowledge, we're building on our understanding, and we're being challenged to kind of use what we've been learnt. Literally in the session before, we can already start applying in the next session. So for me, what was really useful was just being able to bring investment strategies, develop investment strategies, develop funds, and really have a good perspective from different people in the ecosystem. So we were understanding from the fund managers to the entrepreneurs to the SMEs that we're working with. I really enjoyed that it was Africa focused. I myself have been mainly been on courses which are focused, use examples from Western countries, and whereas we use really African-centric examples and solutions and opportunities. That's something that I left with this course, that we can create solutions ourselves, and then the need for us as African countries to come together and create solutions for ourselves. I think, as I'll touch on what Christian said in terms of connections and collaboration, it helped me. I come from West Africa. It was great to really speak with people from Southern and East Africa. And what I found interesting was even the people from Kenya themselves, they didn't know each other. So I think it's a really good course. Even if you're from Kenya, even if you're from South Africa, you can really meet other people and understand some of the regional nuances that come to impact investing. So I thought that was really important. I don't know if you have some questions, Shaluba?
No, I think that's perfect.
I'm conscious of time, yeah.
You've covered it really well, and I think especially as someone coming in from West Africa, coming to East Africa to attend the course, but also seeing very clear value and benefit. I think what's key, or what I'm taking away, it was a very structured course that was both theoretical but also practical, and it is very African centered and Africa focused, which I think is quite key and a key differentiator in that we are the only impact investing course of its kind on the continent. I think I'll hand back to Jason. Maybe we're potentially going to open it up for questions and answers. So if there are people who need to ask any specific questions, Jason, maybe over to you. But Christian and Sarah, please do stay in case there are any direct questions to you.
Yeah, I mean, just great. Thanks so much, Sarah. Thanks, Christian. Very incredible. And if you are open to it, Sarah and Christian, feel free to share your details in the chat if anyone wants to reach out to you directly, maybe about the work you're doing or even about the course. I think that would be great. And yeah, so I just want to open it up to those of you who are attending the information session. Any questions, any thoughts, please do. Now's your opportunity. You can raise your hand and then we will invite you to ask any questions to the team.
I think there was a question in the chat, maybe while people come off mute, around the Cape Town iteration of the course. We have posted that applications are open. And so if people are interested, either in the Kenya iteration or the Cape Town iteration, you are able to start applying now. And we have shared a link in the chat, and there will be a post info session mailer that will get sent out.
And yes, lots of food, as Sarah says. So do make sure that you go on a little bit of a diet before you come to the course, then you can enjoy all the good food.
Jason and Taran, do you maybe want to emphasize when the deadline again is for application?
Yes, so the deadline, Taran, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's 8th of July.
Yes, at 2 p.m. SAST.